Okay. Okay, this is for Teach Now, Module 5, Unit 5, Activity 3, Effectiveness of a Unit Plan. So, I want to say, how effective do I think my initial planning of a unit? Before this unit, um, before this module, I would say that my unit planning was not bad because I teach art. Um, my you know my units kind of fit with whatever theme another class was doing. So we're trying to be an IB school, so we have these things called units of inquiry, um, and each grade is supposed to work together to do something. So have been given an idea. However, the unpacking standard, um, that was that was pretty interesting to me because we haven't really talked about standards as they relate to Common Core in America, or anything like that. So that was interesting to me, and I am glad that we went over that. Um, Revisions in the lesson or the unit plan. I didn't have too many revisions, but there were some things that I noticed that I needed to change right at the beginning of um, each lesson. So maybe, for example, for the whole unit, I knew that I needed to change the making Christmas stockings to a Christmas cracker kind of the day before the the lesson, because the homeroom teacher told me that they bought a stocking for each student in their class, so I couldn't do that. But luckily, I had an idea that they kind of fit with the unit, to compare and contrast. Um, let's see. So, lesson planning, as I said, for an IB lesson plan, it's very vague because they want the students to kind of create the flow and of the unit to see what the students are interested in and what they could do to make a better unit. Is that what I'm trying to say? If they could make, something that interests them. So it could start out with an idea from the teacher or the unit of inquiry and progress, guided by the students. So this is a little more firm in what the than what an IB lesson would be, and it was pretty involved. I do like that I got a chance to experiment with it. However, I think it doesn't fit completely with the IB style of lesson. But if, when I go back to America and I plan to teach in America, this is good to know, for the Common Core standards and things like that. The planning process, determining if my students were meeting the objectives, I did find it helpful to have a basic layout for the type of formative or summative assessments that I wanted to do before I taught the lesson. I guess, before we don't have before the Teach Now program, I didn't have many summative assessments. We just had for the art class, we had a midterm exam and a final exam, and that was kind of to assess um, if the students had built art artistic vocabulary. Now that I know what the standards are for for each for each of the art category Common Core standards, I can look at those and see what type of summative assessments that would be based on the Common Core, and how that would help. I think overall the learning how to unpack a standard and how to create a lesson plan based on uh, what's required in the United States has been helpful. And while I won't use such an um, involved lesson plan, unit plan or lesson plan, because that's not what my school is required of me. Um, it does give me something to think about, and I will definitely continue to think about student diversity and differentiation of instructions, formative assessments, and I will keep those in mind when I'm creating a lesson and finding out what students, if they're meeting the goals that I have set out for them. Thank you.